Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, chess fans. My name is Levi Rosman. This is Title Tuesday, the 4th edition here in April. It is 1 p.m. almost here in New York City. Hope you're all slowly working your way through this international shutdown. Hope you're all healthy. If you haven't been healthy, hope you're getting healthier. Title Tuesday is a 2-hour, 9-round, 3+1 Blitz tournament in a Swiss system format here on Chess.com with prizes at stake. At stake? Or just like with prizes? Anyway, big money for the event as always. I mean, Title Tuesday is now happening on a weekly basis here at Chess.com. Just a small error, I think, on this image is that it's at the top right. It's not 9 a.m. Pacific, it's actually 10 a.m. Pacific. I think that was a late decision. But $1,600 on a weekly basis. I cannot promise that these 4 players on your screen are the ones that participate every single week. Hikaru definitely. Fabiano has participated in the last few. But we've got 1 minute and 40 seconds until game time. If there's any questions in the chat, please let me know now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get started here. With 940 players in the first round, the way this works is we split everybody into a half. Top half of players, bottom half of players, we make the pairings. And then from there, you only play people in your score group. If you are unaware of how tournament system works, now you know. And then as the tournament progresses, all the strongest players get kind of bunched together and start taking on each other for the shot at the top prizes. Other cool events here on Chess.com coming up. After Title Tuesday today, we actually have the State of Chess.com, so you guys should definitely stick around for that. It's going to be Danny Wrench talking about, you know, all the good things, some of the bad things, some of the challenges, some of the projects that Chess.com is going to take on in the present and also in the next few months here on Chess.com. Probably talking about, you know, the boost in viewership, the boost in usage of the platform, and what sort of hurdles that comes with. I would imagine. I don't actually have a script of what Danny's going to talk about. I hope he's going to talk about all those things. So that's for today. Tomorrow we are, tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to have the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship quarterfinals. Eric Rosen versus Alina Kashlinskaya. Myself taking on Teddy Coleman. And others. I don't remember who the third one is, and then the fourth one. I know the players, I just don't know in which order. But enough of that, because we've got games. We already have someone with a point winning the tournament. A lot of Russians here. Hikaru playing E4, B6, the Owens defense against Serbian FM, 2470. And, well, I mean... Okay. Wow, what a move. Knight B1. I turn back to my attention to the window here. Knight B1. The idea of Knight B1 is, well, basically to render this bishop completely useless. And White is going to try to go for F4, F5. That is quite a move. Wow. Knight B1 is C3 and all these all this pawn structure. I like what White is doing here. Although putting the knight on F4 is a little bit interesting also. I was thinking F4, F5. I guess White is trying to combine both worlds there. Gets his knight to H5. The knight is hit now. Going into G7 is a big commitment. If we get knight G7 check, we're going to get king F8, bishop H6, setting up a discovered attack, and then Hikaru's going to go king G8. That's basically what he wants. He wants this, bishop H6, and then king G8. And your pieces here are pretty stuck. So now White is like, well, I did all of this. Am I really just going to back up now? You might have to. I don't know about going to G7. He goes to G7. And, whoa! Then he just comes right... That is a nice little idea. The knight cannot be taken because queen g3. That's a very nice idea by white. Comes in and always look if you can go back. It looks like you can't because of queen g3. Hikaru quickly pops out with bishop g5. If this trade occurs, then this knight still continues to be under fire. Right now the bishop is under fire. After takes, and just knight back. Black still seems to be a step behind white. I mean, if white just gets f4 and gets a knight out, gets the knight out to d2, white should be okay. Should be pretty happy. How did players win a game already? Like, how did 2,900 rated players... Somebody won a game in 15 moves? Really? In a c3 Sicilian. Incredible. Oh, okay, black just decided that he would be giving a piece. I'm always fascinated how games Untitled Tuesday end in like 30 seconds. So, that's always interesting to me. Now we have all these guys backing up. G6, H5 coming, H4 coming as well. Knight F3, and I guess the knight's going to have to drop back, and this is Hikaru's way of now saying, alright, let me close up the position, put all my pawns on light squares. Yeah, the knight is coming back to G5, but then what? What is white's idea now? Is he going to try to expand with the G-pawn? F-pawn mobility is kind of compromised because of the control over the square. But maybe... And he does go... He is looking to instigate on the king side on king h1, f4. Okay, no, this is just a maneuvering game. Is he gonna go here, here, excuse me, here, and then there? Is this what we're gonna get? Okay, for now he just pushes on this side of the board. Knight h3, knight f2, knight g4, knight f6. Ah, that's another interesting idea. Rook f3, rook h3. Looking to win the h4 pawn, but Hikaru is quick. Rook h5, rook h8. Hikaru has now given away this pawn. He had no way of guarding it. But I guess Hikaru's got the target on a4. And if he wins it, the b2 pawn is potentially falling. Okay. But somehow, I mean, white is just playing extremely well. Like, white is playing, I mean, perfect chess, almost. I mean, rook g1 and f5, like, it looks like black is in some serious trouble here. I mean, Hikaru is blitzing out moves at light speed, trying to get white into time trouble. It really feels like white is a move away from it. Like, can you just go knight f7 here? Knight f7, king f7, rook g6, rook f6. I mean, it really doesn't feel good. I mean, white's got 10 seconds. There it is, knight f7, knight g6 maybe, or rook g6. I mean, it still feels like there are two knights potentially hanging. Rook f6, rook f5. I mean, I think e6 was also a really strong move. e6, and you couldn't take because of rook e5, e6 with rook f7 intentions. I think white has some good chances here. I mean, e6 right now. Yeah, with queen c7. This is... Whoa. But he's only got 6 seconds. Only got 6 seconds. Okay, maybe Hikaru goes knight a8 to literally stop that from happening? I just don't know. But then we're gonna get queen e5 and queen f6. But queen e5 there is takes. Uh-oh. Yeah, knight a8 might be the only move. Okay, he's letting him play queen c7. Rook e5. Queen here. Is Hikaru mated? He must be mated. This must be forced mate. Rook e8. Rook e8 was winning. Rook e8 won all the pieces. Queen d8. Oh my goodness, Hikaru's gonna lose. Hikaru loses to a 24-70 to start the tournament. Unbelievable. Wow. Wow. That is, I mean, this is just over. I don't even have to really stay on this game. Yeah, and then there's mate. What a wild game. What a wild game. White sacrificed 2 knights for this massive attack. I mean, it was a pretty instructive moment, honestly. That was very nice. I mean, Dubov with a win, Grischuk with a win. All the Russians held it down. Literally every Russian. Every Russian game I pulled up. Let's take a look at Georg Meyer, see how he's doing. I will not be like Nemo. Why am I pulling up this tournament? How did that happen? Oops. I'm not going to be like Nemo and call him George. I learned my lesson a long time ago. Georg Meyer. That is a very big upset to start this tournament. Let's keep on scrolling. We've got Dlugi playing. So many Russian players. Like, I'm really trying to scroll down this list. I don't know, let's... Alright. Let me find you another interesting game. Okay, that's not interesting. That's like queen and bishop advantage. Is this an interesting game? Oh! Let's do a little endgame exercise, my friends. Is this a fortress? Look at white trying to get in over here and win this pawn. The answer is yes, even though a full bishop up, there is no way to get this king away from the pawn without stalemating it. And that is just a draw for the Indian Grandmaster. Okay, we've got about 5-6 games here remaining in the first round. As always, Entitled Tuesday format, we are looking for fun and exciting endgames that have no practice. Oh, okay. Here we go. What do you guys like more, queen or 2 rooks? I think in this endgame, the queen definitely has the advantage, mainly because of the fact that, you know, you've got 3 extra pawns here. You've just got to be careful about running into, like, a double rook attack. But this endgame is completely winning for white. I really don't know why white is insisting on giving all these checks. Okay, he wanted to win the pawn with a check, b6, and yeah, it's just over. Queen c7 and queen c8 is mate, or queen a7. And an upset by the 2250 Polish FIDE Master. And that was the end of round 1. Wow. Wow, we only really got to look at like 1 exciting game. All the other games just... That was so quick. Okay, we've got Rybka, hopefully just the name and not the actual engine. Last time there was a Title Tuesday game that Grischuk was involved in, he got selected for Game of the Week or Game of the Day on the YouTube channel of Chess.com. Commentary by yours truly. Grischuk frequently plays these systems. With knight f3, g3, bishop g2, Grischuk's going to castle, and I wonder what he's going to do next. Is he going to play bishop f4, bishop g5? Is he going to play knight c3? What's he going to play? Is he going to play an early queen c2? Yeah, he does go for bishop f4. Remember, friends, no one here is naive. Any and all fair play questions will be absolutely addressed throughout the course of the event. So it is, you know, it is in no unspoken terms not a secret that when cash money is involved and there's thousands of players and all of them are titled and you have an opportunity to play really high level players and there is increment, that fair play things do occur, whether or not someone's even in competition for first or second place. People just do it. I will never for the life of me understand why titled players will use assistance for whatever reason, even if no money is involved. But it is definitely a thing that happens, and we are, we monitor these things all the time. One thing that has been introduced to titled players is the fact that at any given moment throughout the event, we will prompt them to be on camera. Okay, so this will offset certain concerns as well, and if the player refuses, they subject themselves to forfeiture as well. So don't worry. Yeah? I'm just doing the commentary, but I will just let everybody know that, there it is, by the way, H4. Grischuk in the game last week, or 2 weeks ago, featured on YouTube, also busted out this H4. Very common idea when white has a majority of pieces focused on the opponent's king. It's got a couple of things in mind. It locks down G5, and also H5, H6 is a possibility. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he just played H5 right now. And forced H6 out of his opponent. At the same time, maybe G4, G5. This is, I mean, I don't get what black is trying to accomplish here. You know? Like, I get that there's this, but you will never win this pawn ever. And beyond that, I'm not... I mean, maybe you're trying to create a new chess 960 position. I mean, the rook on A7 is by far the worst rook I've ever seen in my life. And black doesn't have a single piece that's not a pawn beyond the second row. So, yeah, this isn't very good. Grischuk also was just offered a draw by his opponent. Incredible. So the opponent plays queen a8, rook a7, and then offers a draw. Oh! The pieces are crossing onto the third row. Two pieces have now moved into more active territory. I love this. Look at Grischuk's approach. This is like... If Grischuk gets g4 and f4, my day will be made. And then somehow teleports this pawn here. It's not going to happen. Okay, this is black instigating. This is a pawn structure decision. Black is saying, if you push, you give away c5. If you take, you give away c5 and you help me. And otherwise, I'm just going to have this pawn in the center putting pressure. Now Grischuk brings this guy back. That move takes away c5 from black, though. Now d5, and black can't use either of these squares, but Grischuk continues to maintain the tension with these pawns. If either of these pawns capture, it's not clear whether black is improving his position or white's position more. So... there we go. The first trade has occurred, and there... Alright, the rook is now no longer tragic. We see black, making attempts at offsetting his passive piece play, but that does come with drawbacks, and that drawback, namely, is the weak b6 pawn, which after a quick d5 will just be a direct target. d5 now hangs c4, so maybe Grischuk's going to find a way to lock that down. Very tough to do that. Every move does something. Knight e3 blocks your bishop. Knight d2 blocks your rook. Rook c1 or rook here weaken these two pawns respectively. So what? All right, so Grischuk chooses this way, blocking his bishop. But what is he just going to take with the rook? He's just saying it doesn't matter. Okay. He's saying it does not matter. And now b6 continues to linger as a problem, as well as d6. Black has a new tragic piece, and it is this bishop. Maybe knight d5. Oh, that's a very nice move. This move does not even have to do with this. It has to do with e5 and the attack on the tragic queen on a8. Black moves up and puts some pressure here. Maybe bishop f1. Is this a threat? There's always like bishop f1 ideas to pin something like here, rook c4 and bishop f1. But maybe black has rook c1. Okay, so Grischuk just disregards this. That move actually stops against rook c1. So now if takes, rook here, bishop f1, rook c1 is no longer possible. This is another pawn structure decision. He's trying to lock down g4. I expect something to happen soon. One of these three squares, Grischuk's going to use his space advantage. Maybe queen b5 to trade the queen and remove this weakness, but that's a bit far-fetched, queen b5. But this is the only active piece that black has. Maybe bishop f3 to continue to slowly improve, but Grischuk has to do something. And there it is, f5. F5 has happened. Okay, but now what? You can't go here. That's guarded. What do you do now? Alright, Grischuk down to 15 seconds. And alright, he just slowly but surely improving his pieces. Black, I mean, credit to him. He's fighting. I mean, he is finding ways to maneuver in the ugliest of positions here. This rook on e5 camped throughout. Queen b7. Again, it feels like black is attacking nothing. Like, now he does have an attack here. Grischuk defends. I mean, this bishop has not moved in 40 moves. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, but this pawn... I still feel like white is just forever better, but this is starting to worry me. And I mean, Grischuk with 5 seconds could blunder something. Wow. Alright, this guy's all in on the queen side, and he's all in on the king side. Grischuk just always finds a way to make a game exciting. And credit to his opponent. There's g5. Are we going to get this? Are we going to get this? Where is he going to enter black's territory? He's not. He's just going to hit the rook. I just can't touch the square today. I keep touching the adjacent square. I don't know what's wrong with me. Not a good day for me to play bullet. Whoa, did Grischuk just almost flag? What was that? Grischuk just playing on the 1 second bonus! This is crazy. He's definitely going to screw something up here. He's gonna flag. I mean, he's making moves with half a second on the clock. This is unbelievable. And there it is. Grischuk lost on time. Wow. Yeah, black just kept the game going. And, you know, just kept 10, 15, 20 seconds on his clock, and Grischuk just flags. Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, we spent so much time on this game. Here's another game that's completely insane. 2 Russian players. Mishanik is, that's Sarana? I think that's Alexei Sarana. Black up 2 pawns and easy pressure here. Yeah, black just gets the win. White resigns, chooses not to continue the game. White wins here. I mean, all these games are going to be wrapping up as we get there. Equal rook endgame, not extremely exciting. This one's just a draw. All right, well, when in doubt, you know, you got to scroll down about halfway. Nope, another rook endgame. Oh my goodness. Every game is finishing now. That's checkmate. How many games in a row is that I get there and it's over? Okay, this one's a little bit exciting, I guess. I mean, just the draw. If anybody's playing for a win, it's black with his passed pawns. There's very limited ways to lose this as black, and most likely you will not lose it at all. My games list is taking a while to update, you know, given all the games that are going on. Is this game over? This game is over. Hello? Let me refresh my page. Two games left. Wonderful. Ah, yes. What everybody comes here for. Symmetrical rook endgame. Here's another rook endgame that looks borderline symmetrical. 3 pawns versus 2. Good rule of thumb in rook endgames is the person with the extra pawn is playing for a win. Unless you're the lower rated player, in which case you're always playing for the loss. King F4 was like a kind of a tricky move. Kind of tricky, because then if rook E1 there was mate. But he would have just played rook F3. This is also a draw because white will sacrifice the rook for this pawn, and this pawn is too far advanced. There are some nuances in rook versus 1 pawn endgames, but in this case the king is just too far. It is just too far, and every time you check, the king comes back. Every time you check, the king moves away. E7, and now If the king was at least a little bit closer, there would be some chances, but the players just go for a draw. Next game will follow Vladislav Artemyev, who at the time of writing is very highly rated on Chess.com. He's like one of the top 2 Blitz players. Okay. Who is this? This is Posny. Posny is a very, very strong Israeli GM. 2682 does not do him justice. I mean, it's very rare that a grandmaster's like whose FIDE Rapid and potentially FIDE Classical is the same as their Chess.com Blitz. For example, you know, Yevgeny Posny is 2600 standard, 2530, and I mean at his peak was something like 2680, 2670, like a couple of years ago. So the guy's a very good player. I think his Blitz rating doesn't do him a whole lot of justice. And this is a London where white forgot to put the bishop on f4, which is kind of funny. Artemiev plays a super sideline of d4. It's like a London where the bishop was like, I'm good. I'm not going to be coming out, thanks. I don't understand how this serves any advantage to the player playing with the white pieces. It's a Kali, is what the name of this is, but and generally white, you know, puts the bishop on b2 and tries to open the position up that way, or e4, yes. And this might look strange because it's like why would white give up the bishop? Well, you know, you get good control over e4. Your bishop and knight have control of g5, and you know, rook e1 and pressure here in the center. So it's positives and negatives on both sides. Also, long term, you get a 3-on-2 on the queen side, which at a scientific endgame level is considered an advantage for white when both players castle on the king side. And let's put it this way: at the highest level of chess, there is a reason this opening has not been played. Yeah, as our fantastic, probably the greatest moderator in Chess.com history, Mr. Max Mlinek, says, for hundreds of years, they generally have been moving the bishop outside of the pawn chain. So Artemiev is providing us. Okay, well this is very different now. Now white is saying, dude, I don't care. I'm gonna maybe go g4, maybe attack you on the king side, and although g4 will be met very promptly with the move f6. Breaking the rule that we teach beginners not to push pawns on the side you're being attacked. This is a very cool move. That's a good way to describe move. Bishop e3. It's a cool move. The idea being that if takes, suddenly the rook has joined the attack. And if f6 now, you take, and hop in here with your knight, because the queen loses control of the square and the pawn does as well. Tough decision for Mr. Posny. Is there a threat? Does white actually have a threat? Because taking is not a threat by itself, but maybe g4 after that? Maybe bring the rook. I feel like the first 2 rounds of this event have flown by. What about you guys? Those of you in Twitch, YouTube, across Chess TV, over 3,000 at the moment. If there's any questions about Title Tuesday or any of the upcoming events that we have, remember that after today's show, you really don't need to go anywhere. You should stick around. You're gonna get basically a one-on-one or a one-on-several thousand conversation with Danny Wrench. He will be doing what we call the State of Chess.com, and that's when he talks about ongoing projects, challenges, initiatives that are going on here at Chess.com, answers viewer questions. Takes bribes for, various endeavors, and, so if you want to solicit for a local political campaign of some sort, okay, those last 2 maybe not, but all the other stuff. You want to bash on him for losing to Teddy Coleman, also acceptable. Very cool decision here by e4. This move shows the difficulty of coordination between these 2 pieces. Both of them can take, but yet none of them can take. Because if the knight takes, you take the queen. If the queen takes, you take the knight. Which is kind of funny. Both pieces control that square, but neither piece can deal with this diagonal, which is why he moves out of the way. Now knight e4 is a threat. No, white is clearly better. Black is going to have to defend this position tactically by means of, you know, pushing all the pawns in front of his king and maybe going for this. If black can accomplish that, he's doing fine. Actually, I'm going to rescind my previous statement that white is happy here. I don't know what I missed with F5. I would like to apologize to the viewers. This just looks very good for... I don't understand. What is Artemiev planning? Oh, he's just going to play really fast. All right, Artemiev is doing this thing grandmasters do when he knows his position is garbage. So now he just plays really fast. Right? Right, like that's sort of a kind of a game plan, and that's no disrespect to Artemiev. This is common advice I even give for club players. Like sometimes in Blitz, when you feel the game slipping away, just make a couple of non-committal moves. Rook f1, queen g3, king h1, and get the game into a lower time situation so that you can at least, you know, muddy the waters in time trouble. But we see Posney, I mean, sacrificing a pawn here so that he repins himself, so that he opens the h file. Very good decision making. After queen g3, knight g4 is the key idea, I think, which hits the rook. You can't take because of the pin, and also the knight isn't knight g4 just winning on the spot, or am I... Hold on, was there anything wrong with knight g4? Did that move just win the game? Knight g4 just winning? Engine verification. Rook h5 is also good. I cheated. Whoa! And see, this is a byproduct of getting the game low on time. Here's a rook sacrifice. This is hanging. Knight e6 is a double check. Rook f7 is coming in the future. The king's got a getaway square. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So rook h5 was a good move, but what on earth? Okay, queen c7 at the end, but wait, he can throw in rook d1, right? I think he should have thrown in rook d1 check to get out of the way. Now he's got to go back. This is still chaotic. This is still very chaotic. I mean, if black loses all the pawns, he has no advantage. Queen takes e4. Yeah, and given how far these pieces apart, how far apart these pieces are, just don't go here and blunder rook h3. Just play king h2. Just go here, Vlad. Or wait, check and take the pawn. I would have not expected that move. That is a weird move. King h2, yes. Rook b2. Wait, oh, no, it was not a blunder. H4 was not a blunder. I thought he blundered rook h4, but queen h4 was a check, because the king was on e7. Now here comes the carousel of checks. Of course, if this was 3-0... there we go, there's h5. Is rook g2, is he going to take? Is he going to take? Is this endgame winning king and 4 pawns? Just happened. a4, and I guess the 3 pawns here are just gonna do the trick. And then Artemiev is gonna come forward. Is this is a win? How's he gonna win it? King, knight g5. Is this winning? This is the golden position. The knight can always drop back anytime you push and fork the 2 pieces. Okay. King f7 there. Yeah, I think there it is. And h7. Whoa. No, what a find. What a find, and now he gets the knight out of the way. Is this a God. No! King f7! Oh my goodness, it's still a draw! Incredible defense. Incredible defense by Yevgeny Posney. I mean, I would like to assume that this is somehow lost for black, but I don't know. I don't know. It really felt like, what do we have here? No? Never? This was never winning for white? Even with the 3 extra pawns? Oh, somewhere around here it was a win. Okay, instead of a4, c5 is winning instead of putting the pawn on a4. Because after king d5, king f4, king c5, king f5, I guess that's the idea? Like, you need to use this pawn faster as a... Okay, there you go. Artemiev made kind of a reactive move here to a5. He played a4, but He didn't have to do this. He probably just didn't want somehow to, you know, end up with a situation where the pawn becomes a queen. So even GMs can be a little bit too reactive in low time situations and, you know, screw up their chances. Right, here we are seeing an IM demonstrate his ability to checkmate with a rook versus a king. This is not something we get to see every day. This is like watching a lion eat a piece of meat. It's as if we are in a zoo exhibit. King b6, nice technique, and now rook c5, rook c8. Very nice. Good technique there by the IM. Here we see absolute pandemonium. Oh, my friends, I think I know what we're going to see here. I think you and I both know what we're about to see. If you know anything about my... No, bishop f3! No! No, they screwed it up! We were supposed to get rook sacrificing itself for the pawn and bishop and knight versus king. That is the Title Tuesday specialty. That is like you go to your local restaurant and you know they're going to give you the same soup that is the tastiest on the Tuesday of the week. They're going to give you some... Or Taco Tuesday. We needed a meme, and instead we got a freaking X-ray. And now, please promote to a bishop at least. Oh, there's a queen. Okay. Yeah, they blundered the X-ray. Those of you that are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, every Title Tuesday that I do, I look for bishop and knight versus king situation. The last time that I did it, a grandmaster from Serbia, I want to say, older player, maybe 60 years old, was unable to checkmate with bishop and knight versus king. Played 50 moves, couldn't do it, and he had like 10 seconds on the clock, 15 seconds, which is enough time in my opinion. But okay, I mean, all right, let's go for a Dubov game. Dubov is busting out his Magnus files, the Rossolimo Sicilian with dc6 and queen c7 and then e5. For the untrained eye, this looks idiotic. I mean, it looks like black literally has never played chess ever, just knows how to move pawns and a queen early on. His development doesn't look like it makes a whole lot of sense. Like, this move comes, you know, he's putting the bishop behind the pawn, but he's allowing knight g5, which is sort of weird. But generally, black has good control of the center. Long castles is a good way to... Like, what is this? I mean, if you told me that my 7-year-old 800 rated student was playing this with black, I wouldn't even question it. But somehow this is like normal theory in chess. I mean, knight h6, like, I would yell at an 8-year-old student for not moving his knight to the center. But, this is normal. This is actually exactly how these positions get played. They're played this way because black sets up this kind of creative pawn structure with a lot of control over the center and breaking possibilities on the king side with g5 and f5. He's putting so many pawns on dark squares to completely shut out this bishop and make this bishop stronger. Does this come with a price of his f8 bishop being a bit passive? And now maybe he's got, you know, ideas to attack the king and long castles. Great weapon for Blitz. A lot of dynamic play. A lot of dynamic play for black. And principled play as well, controlling all of white's pawn breaks. I think Dubov will win nicely. This is a rerouting idea, maybe looking for this square, maybe looking for f5, maybe. So this is a very interesting position. Now, Dubov going for a think. Yeah, knight f7. It's still not entirely clear at first glance what exactly is the point of all this with knight f7. And yeah, now we see the knight actually making the carousel to h5, maybe to g7, pressure on f6. I think the other idea is knight g4, so that's why the f3 knight went back to h2. The c3 knight did the little rodeo, you know. You guys ever seen those memes like in certain places where if the direct road to a destination is closed, you have to take the road around the country? Like in Australia, I've seen this. You know, you're trying to drive 30 minutes, but if it's closed, you have to drive 6 hours all the way around. That's essentially what these knights just did. They had to travel the entire other side of the country because there's like a mountain in the middle of some sort. And Dubov is just in time. He puts his rook on g6, and what is white going to do on the king side, you know? Like, oh, a3, yeah, there you go. The sign of a very confident player, a3. I don't know what to do, a3. But we saw Artemiev do it in the game that we just played. And Dubov actually responds with a5. He doesn't want his opponent to go b4. Dubov with a big space advantage. Look at all his pawns. a5, c5, e5, g5. No light squares. Queen f3. A perfect example of one side playing a light squared strategy and another side playing a dark squared strategy, huh? Yin and yang. I bet you didn't think you'd be coming here for, you know, philosophy, but here you are. And we see long castles played. Very big question now for Mr. Eugene Rongon. What is he gonna do? What is he going to do next? Alright, the first hot take of the day. I always love to read chat hot takes. Somebody said that Hikaru's game is decreasing with age. Of course. I think that is a perfectly reasonable take on the situation, despite the fact that Hikaru is having tremendous success in the Magnus Invitational. Is tied, as of today, I don't know what was the result of Magnus's games, but tied for first. But first round game of a Title Tuesday tournament basically overshadows all of his success in Rapid and Blitz in the world, and the fact that he's arguably one of the best speed chess players on planet Earth. Yeah, Hikaru's game is the... You guys are sharp with your hot takes today. Knights are still chilling here. It's the kind of position where, again, because both sides have so many pawns, Dubov is at luxury to give away the f-pawn and not suffer too much for it. Although, I don't understand what he's going to do. Yeah, like, what if white just goes b4? You know? This is really weird. This is so odd. I don't... You know, Dubov, like, played a5, c5. Like, his queen is the king's main protector. And, I mean, Eugene Rongon is going to play b4, okay? He's going to play b4 next. If these two moves don't telegraph, he's going to play this move, and I don't know what Dubov is going to do about it. There it is. And again, Dubov has no play on the king side. This is super instructive by white. You know, in situations where you're castled on opposite sides, king here, it's about the pawn attack, right? It's about throwing all the pieces at your opponent. But Mr. Eugene Rongon has just completely shut down that side of the board with his knights. And, well, Dubov's trying to do the same. That's a fork. That's an attack. This I don't like so much. Yeah, wait, what? Knight e5? Dubov blundered? You can leave the knight hanging because the rook is hanging. I think Dubov blundered knight e5. I think Dubov is losing now. I think Dubov was worse, but I think now he is losing. But he's going to rely on this move. Okay, I mean, at the very worst, you know, you just take the knight and take the bishop. At the very worst. And you will never... Yeah, I mean, with the queen here, there's nothing that can be done. Take. Bro. Or don't. Knight d3. And the only chance Dubov has now is in the time trouble. 6 seconds for Dubov. He's got to make a move. There's queen f7, which threatens maybe this and this somehow, like with a rook and g8. Is that the idea? Queen g7, okay. Pressure. That's a knight, but I guess that's a bishop. And that knight is like really hanging. Like super hanging. Okay. It's no longer hanging. Now that's under attack. Uh-oh. Whoa! What? Really? I don't believe in this. There must be some tricks. No? No tricks? Oh. Oh. Uh-oh, yeah, this is very bad now. Okay, but if the king can blockade and there's some chance of a perpetual, there's probably no chance of a perpetual. Queen b2, king d7, rook e7. We're gonna see another strong Russian player go down, unless somehow there's like a weird triangle of checks. Yeah, Eugene is trying to hide his... There we go. One's d7. Oh, never mind. I forgot about queen b5. I would have gotten perpetualed. Is this really a draw? No, because queen f4, king h1. King h1! What are you doing? Oh, that's not even a check. d7. Okay, Dubov mouse slips. Allowing the pawn to get to b7. King h1 was no checks, but this is also probably. Rook e8, and that is GG. Wow, Dubov also goes down. And here comes Wonderful Time versus Manchuk. I swear Armenia has a bunch of GMs I've never heard of in my life. Okay, I feel like this is another endgame which could end in Rook versus Knight and Bishop, so let's just hang out here for a second, because if the Rooks are traded, and then the pawn is sacrificed for the Rook, but I don't feel like it's even going to get that far. I feel like Black's just going to lose. It's just too many pieces on the board, too tricky. Just g4, Bishop h5, yeah. g4. Knight f... This is mate. It's just straight up checkmate. I had Rook g8 and King e5. Check and mate? Hello? That was mate in 2. That was mate in 2 moves right there. Rook g8. That was mate. Okay, this is obviously still winning, but I mean 29-37 can't see mate in 2. If you guys are hopeless, those of you watching at home trying to get better, just forget about it. I mean 29-40 can't spot mate in 2. I don't know why you guys are even still playing chess. Shout out to over 4,500 viewers, though. Definitely much appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, well, 3 seconds on the clock. I saw it. Listen, I saw it, and I'm an idiot, okay? So, that's all I have to say about that. So, if I saw it and you didn't, I'm you know. So, who's got 4 out of 4? Gawain Jones, Grigoria Parin, David Paravian. I'm out of coconut water. Okay. Hello? Oh, we have a brief break after round 4. I forgot about this. There was a 5-minute break after round 4. Fair play team will catch up given the size of the tournament. We'll take a quick break, and we will be right back with more Title Tuesday action. So far, we've got about 40 players on perfect scores! Unbelievable stuff. A lot of really, really good chess to be played. About halfway point of the event. Don't go anywhere. Quick break, and chess returns. Alright, games are back. Appreciate the patience. Got Serana versus Crescent Moon 2411, which I can only imagine is not a legal name. That sounds like it would be a bit of a problem on passports. Got David Paravian. This is a fun matchup. I don't get to see these players very often. MSB2 is, I believe, Matthias Blubaum, but I really don't know. Durar Bailey is Durar Bailey Vasif. So, yeah. Hope you guys had a good 5-minute break, caught your breath. I poured some tea, and the only reason I was late to the round beginning is because as I sat back down in my chair, remember I said like a couple minutes ago, I found that Maiden 2 and I'm an idiot, and if I can find it, wonderful time can find it. Yeah, as I sat back down in my chair, I spilled tea all over the floor. And so my choices were get a paper towel, clean it up, or just sit down and get rolling because the first moves were getting played. And I just chose to sit down, so there's just tea like right there. I'm doing this because I love you people. You know, I'm doing this for the fans. There's tea on my floor. There you go. This is all the insight of top-level commentary that you don't get when it's more professional and, you know, formal and can't talk about parts of your life that you can, you know, basically turn this into a therapy session for all I want. Look at this center, huh? Look at this. This is nice. I like this by black. And then, in a perfect world, you know, you get, like, everybody going forward. Knight can't come out this way, knight can't come out this way, bishop can't do anything. Tough decision by white. Because if he plays knight g3 and I go f5, like, what do you do? Maybe you look for some f4 move. You know, and then you're okay with en passant. Because you soften up the center. You're also okay with this capture. But it's very tough to tell. Nice, knight g3, good. I mean, you have to go knight g3. There's no other move. Whoa! That is why he is a GM and I'm an IM. Because he played bishop e6, saying, I don't care about this pawn. I'd rather take this one and disallow you from castling. And if white wastes a tempo on b3, black is saying, well, this is an improvement in my position. Look at that. Gets that pawn right there. Now white is going to play f3, king f2, and rook d1. See, shout out to my student, who I know is currently watching. This is how good players play. They play fast, and they play well. You play fast. Well sometimes, but mostly fast. Right, f3, king f2, rook d1. Every move has a plan. The dynamic here between the two bishops is such that, you know, they both serve their own purpose. The knight on c6 is not doing a whole lot of anything right now. Neither is the knight on e4. So this game is really going to be decided with pawn play, rook play, who can open the lines to better serve themselves. But the problem for both players is the pawn structure is completely symmetrical, meaning both sides have the exact same pawns, except with some differences in their spacing. So in all likelihood, a position here is going to be very difficult to win for one side or another. You think white's knight is uncomfortable? Unfortunately, I don't agree with that opinion. I don't think it's necessarily incorrect, but just because a knight is standing on a square and can't really go anywhere, a piece is only uncomfortable if it is at any point in danger of becoming a genuine target. And that just can't happen here, because if f5, the knight just comes back, or here, and in many cases, playing f5, excuse me, that is not going to get played. F5 will just soften up your e-pawn. So now the knight comes back and hits the bishop. No one's uncomfortable here. I mean, the evaluation is even slightly better for black. I was going to say it's probably 0-0-0. Oops, clicked on another game. That's how much I don't care about their game. We already have 2 people on 5 out of 5, which is impressive. I mean, 5 out of 5 is... You can't be better than 5 out of 5. But I highly doubt we have a winner in the game. Rook e2? Yeah, rook... Whoa! Why did he not play this move? I don't understand. Can someone please explain to me? What is this? Oh, c5. Ah, c5. Nice move. c5. That would have cut the circulation there. So instead he goes for this. And now rook f4 with a fork. Nice! And that's why he's a former world Blitz champion. And I'm me, you know? There we go. Alright. $5 for anybody who can tell me why on earth Anton Korobov's username is Joe. How do you say that? Is that Go Jeff? Is that Joe GF? Is that Gojeff? What is that? What does GoGF stand for? Is that an acronym? For example, here, White's got the dominant bishops. This is a position where both sides have bishops, but I can really only safely say that one side... Oh, that move was kind of interesting. Bishop g6 to try to get queen f8, maybe? I don't know. King f3. Okay. Fine. Uh-oh, that's not good. So he's going to lose g7. Oh, I was going to say he's going to get a4, but he's not. That's a nice idea. He's trying to go b3. Nice move. ba. Outside passed pawn. This is an endgame that Mr. Korobov is playing for a win. Who is XDPS? Nice idea. I mean, again, outside pass pawn in an endgame is a killer. Bishop d2 is good, king f3, and the closer this pawn gets to promotion, the more it appreciates in value. Kind of like a treasury investment. Gotta give credit, though. I mean, Black is playing very well. Black is, like, stopping this pawn, creating some random dynamics. It's not an easy endgame to win. Someone in the chat said, I wonder if any of these players is Kasparov. Well, I think we can comfortably rely on the fact that a player whose username is their name is not Kasparov. Yeah, just a win here, h6, and the combination of all these threats. Shout out to my main man, Manbunovich. Grinding on another title Tuesday. Struggling, but grinding. Grinding all the same. Alright, what happened in this game? Mr. Serrana has an extra pawn. Generally, that is not enough for an endgame win against a player of competence. But let's not forget that the average chat rating is about 750, probably. Check him, and he's going to lose a rook. Okay, never mind. Did you miss I Am Not a GM? No. Before the next round, I will share all information regarding, obviously, the most prestigious event in the history of the internet. Check. He's about to lose a piece somehow. White is about to lose a piece somehow. White is totally going to lose a piece. I feel it. Somehow. I don't know how, but somehow. Is Serrana going to flag? I'm really scared some crazy nonsense is about to happen. How are we going to do this? Alright. Knight f6. Yeah, that's easy peasy. That's a draw. Credit to board 1, though. I mean, they're one of the 5 last games remaining, and there's about 450 games happening. So that's impressive. Ooh! What do you guys think? Who I had an endgame very similar to this once. Queen and bishop versus a queen is a draw, though. But in usual way of roasting the chat, I have to say that you guys would lose this position with the extra bishop. Oh, this is some sort of study. Yeah, this is lost now. Oh, maybe not. Did he have to go like... No. This is so funny. King is stuck in a carousel of checks, but... Alright, what's going on in this game? Rook and bishop versus king and rook. Excuse me. King and bishop versus king and rook. Wait, did he have like a... And white flags. White just flags. Okay. Nice. Okay. I mean, it is a draw. He had the, This position actually You have to be very careful when you have the bishop. You have to make sure that the king is in the right corner, oftentimes. The corner where the bishop can go back and forth and cover the king in the corner. Okay, so here it's not so simple. In fact, you will probably lose because the king cannot hide in the corner, and the bishop cannot cover you with checks and different stalemates. So this particular endgame, black was playing for the win. Liam Lei versus I am Tomino. Okay, bishop g2, knight c3. This system is a lot of fun to play for white. This is essentially keep it simple. 1d4. So bishop g2, some queen b3 stuff. Let's see what black does. Black goes for h6, e6. h6 this is designed against knight h4 ideas. I'm assuming Liam will play this or this. There's nothing else you can do here. Maybe you go for cd5 and bishop f4, but what is Liam thinking about? Okay, he does go for cd5. Some tricks here. Knight d5. If queen b3, you can throw in the in-between move knight takes f6. Mr. Liam is going for a think. Okay, I'd like to, give a little bit of love to all the other players I haven't seen. Here's Krikor. I mean, Krikor Mkhitaryan is like a staple of the Chess.com community. He makes a bunch of content in Portuguese. He's frequently on the Brazilian homepage. Those of you watching on Twitch and YouTube, if you don't know about Krikor, you definitely should. He's got 5 out of 5. Very nice performance so far by him. Knight d5 is an interesting move. Usually with such a giant pawn center, you're looking for ways to push. You have to remember that every time you move a pawn, while you can make your position a little bit better, you're weakening other squares in your position. So sometimes you can use the pawns as a barrier and play using the squares that you control in front of them. Since you control all these squares in front of your pawns, you can utilize those squares. And he wants a position where the pawn will recapture on d5, forcing this knight to move somewhere silly. So, rook c8, black is not really a fan of allowing that to happen. The gentleman who defeated Mr. Dubov is now playing against Wonderful Time. Here we have a matchup between two people whose usernames literally look like spam bots. We've got 19283645, which is, I don't know. I mean, we can make a million different jokes out of that number. Social Security. His weight. I don't know. The amount of pictures of cats that he has on his wall. And this guy, whose name means something in Russian. This is Mikhail Demidov, strong player. Suffering, though, under the positional pressure here. The knight on e4, the bishop on b2. He has a very sad bishop over on b6. And, a little bit of kingside pressure as well. Here. Move the queen, f4, f5. Queen c3 is not a mate threat, but actually he is threatening queen takes g7. He is threatening that. You guys would blunder this, a full queen, but he's got knight f6 as a follow-up with a fork. So the numbers are ascending and descending back and forth in his name. That would be true if not for the fact that there was no 7. There's a 7 missing from his name. There's no 7. It's 9865? And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess he just doesn't like 7. Interesting. Black has suddenly solved the problem of his dark squared bishop, though. Puts the bishop here, knight here, queen here. So, no, chat, please don't feel insulted. I just need to find a way to keep myself entertained, and the only way to do that is to throw all of you under the bus. But you can get back at me. You can get back at me because tomorrow and the day after, we have the greatest internet chess event happening right now in the chess world. There is nothing better than this thing. I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship, a 16-player tournament of absolutely second-rate garbage international masters, namely Greg Shahade, and others. But tomorrow we have the quarterfinals, beginning with Kashlinskaya versus Eric Rosen, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, as well as myself. It's a matchup of the mans, Rosman Coleman, and then others after that. John Bartholomew, Lawrence Trent are going head-to-head, and Carissa Yip will be taking on none other than Greg. So you can all be here. It's essentially a giant roasting party of players that are worse than the commentators. Right? So that's essentially what this is. How did I pronounce her name? Alina Kashlinskaya, which is the right way to pronounce it, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong. No, Smyslov fan. No, I think it's silly. I think we all know that this event is the most prestigious, most elite tournament going on right now in the. There's going to be a lot of maiden ones missed. There's going to be absolutely terrible positional understanding, poor decision making, bad time spent. I mean, it's incredible. You guys got to tune in. It's really your moment to finally be featured in the party of making fun of the players and the commentary and everybody. So, if you don't like anything I've said about the second player, the second-rate players, then there's definitely more IMs in the world than GMs. Definitely. All right, this endgame is, slowly kind of chilling out. How's Korobov doing? Korobov has a queen. That's a piece. Wow, we tune in right when white just hangs a bishop. So, there we go. Temuz Galaktionov has defeated, I don't know who that is. Oh, Anton Demchenko. Galaktionov with 6 out of 6. Korobov with 6 out of 6. A lot of very, very good players here on high scores. Wonderful time. Eugene Rongon both have 5 points. How are the colors assigned? There is a bit of a system to give players alternating colors. So if you had white, you'll get black. If you had black, you'll get white. Generally, you get 5 and 4. You very rarely, and you can play 2 in a row with the same color, but you never play 3. Typical Swiss rules. There we go. Some stats from our number 1 guy. Eugene Rongon has now defeated Wonderful Time as well. There's a ton of IMs. There's a 2780 rated FM. His name is Temuz Galaktionov. I don't think his name is actually Temuz. I feel like it's like Artyom or something. And I just have to say that, this endgame is interesting, but unfortunately, just the draw. They somehow got all the way down to here. I feel like Temuz Galaktionov is like the name of an astronaut. I mean, his last name is literally Galaxy. Galaktionov. Sounds like he's like up in the stars. Alright, King and Knight versus King and Knight is a draw. Yeah, I feel like someone's gonna hang mate in this position, but this is also a draw. Be very impressed if he finds a way to win this. Okay, walk the king to... Oh, now you can't. King b5. Wait. King b5 was an idea, maybe. Some exquisite maneuvering. Okay. Let's place our bets. Do we think that someone's gonna lose this game? What's going on here? Okay. Mate. Just kidding. Mate. It's mate. Why are you not doing it? Checkmate. You can hang your king. Mate your opponent. Okay. Black is trying to play this for a win. Black does have a pawn. If black finds it... Ooh! Black won by timeout? That is a fair way to win, yes. Congratulations. Black with the 2 rooks. And now this is our final game of the round. An absolutely fascinating endgame. You know, this game is so interesting that rather than even analyze it in full detail, I think what I'm going to do is just pull up... just pull up this thing. Because today, right after Title Tuesday, stick around for the state of Chess.com. Danny Wrench will be talking about all the inner workings. He will be going through a line-by-line analysis of our upcoming business plans, sponsorship opportunities, financial statements, legal challenges. Just kidding. But he will be giving you guys insight into what we're working on and the challenges of, you know, taking hundreds of thousands of people online at any given moment. All of our, all the work on the servers and all these crazy times that we're in at the moment. So round 7 of Title Tuesday is underway, but right after round 9 is over, make sure to tune in. Somebody said, you're my favorite streamer. Well, look, I mean, frankly speaking, we're all entitled to opinions, but some are worse than others, and that's just not a good one. I shouldn't be your favorite streamer. I mean, there are so many, so many good streamers out there, like Gotham Chess, Levi Rosman, Harry Potter. They're all really, really good. They're like in a league of their own. So the IPO of Chess.com. So, okay, okay, I don't mean to, like, offend anybody, but has anyone heard of this person? Who is this? Like, I know who Z-Kid is, I know who Steven Zierk is, but who is this guy? Like, no? Anyone? I'm gonna look him up. I'm supposed to fake like I know players? Like, who is this? This is a 1996 born Russian grandmaster, 2570 FIDE. I've never heard of this person in my life. Russia is crazy. Like, I swear, like, and then you've got freaking Galaktionov. You have an astronaut FM 2780, the same ballpark, perfect score. Unbelievable. We've got 3 Russians. Who's Almost 64? Oh, it's a Russian battle. Okay, we're gonna stick here. We gotta stick here. All right. I mean, this is too exciting not to hang around. I mean, Almost 64, for those of you that don't know, is Alexander Motilov. His name is on his page. Alexander Motilov has a peak FIDE of 2710, although he got that 10 years ago, which, a lot of you will respond to with, okay, boomer, no event that happened more than 3,654 days ago, if my math is correct, 10 years and leap years, 53. Those events don't exist anymore. But in 2009, he hit a peak FIDE of 2710. He's a 40-year-old, very strong, very creative Russian player with a lot of really, really good wins. And his opponent is a guy from Tomsk who's 2780. Okay. Yeah. Club level players, you don't have this problem. You boot up. You're playing like a, anyone from the age range of 5 to like 90. The average rating of like 1200 to 1800. Chess is so interesting. It's like borderless. You don't need a high budget to play it. But then, at my level, you boot up for a 3-minute game. You play Timus Galaktionov, and you're just like, why did I ever play chess? We got a guy on the other side of the world I've never heard of who's better than I'll ever be. So, mini rant over. Russia, India, China. United States is getting there. If any of you in the chat are from countries with extremely strong scholastic chess programs, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'm always interested. I mean, obviously, if you say the words chess, scholastic, powerhouse, Russia, China, India, right? So those are the top three. But if any of you come from countries that don't have like a player in the top 10 necessarily, but still have extremely good youth programs, that's be fun to know. I can't tell whose position I like here. I think I like White's position. I think like this is nothing. This is nothing. It is less. It is much less of a strength and much more of a liability. Yeah, I see Poland. Someone said I'm from England. Our strongest junior is an FM. Yeah. And it's funny because in the Twitch chat, someone said UK has really good youth programs. When you have a GM at 10, let me know. What is Scholastic Chess? Scholastic Chess is chess in schools. So here in the United States, chess is by far not a requirement in schools. By far. I mean, like, you have to... You basically, like, have to take a person who works at the school hostage, tie them to a chair, and say you'll only set them free if they offer a chess class. It's usually how it works in America. But those of you asking for Hikaru has been out of the standings ever since losing in the first round, but he has gone on a winning streak, and we'll probably see him in the next round or two. Ah, yes, a lot of players from Iran as well. I think as the game is now transitioning to the endgame, Black's extra pawn will be obviously a strength, right? I mean, I didn't like this for him at first because it felt like his pieces were extremely passive over here, but White was not able to do anything with that. King e2. Mosilov is getting dangerously low on time. Okay, a6 is a good move. You've got all these ideas. Look, every pawn he has is on a light square, and almost every pawn that Black has is on a dark square. Uh-oh, knight e2 you gotta play probably. Or king e2, with the idea of some knight c5 maybe? No, it's stupid. What is a good rating for a 13-year-old? Like 25, 50 FIDE probably. Hey! Shout out to someone from Barbados in the YouTube chat. I did go to Barbados. I think that was in 2018? Maybe 17? Barbados was a lot of fun. I did not have a great tournament, but that was only because of one game. I was close to an IM norm performance. So, that was one idea. But Mr. Timos is going to win again. This is what's about to happen here. I think. He's just up 2 pawns against the Russian GM. Russian GM's got no play, no targets. Knight absolutely dominated by the bishop. E4. Only thing you need to avoid is the trade of the knights. If you trade the knights and White puts a bishop there, you're not going to win this endgame. It's actually just a fortress. But this is winning for Black. And if this, maybe even f3 takes e3. Or mate. Can you mate him? Well, with the extra pawns here, it's... I'll repeat that once again. You don't want to trade the knights. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. The random FM and the random GM both have 7 points. I hope they play each other next round. Korobov, dominate. Absolutely dominant. Oh, we got Hikaru. Hikaru is up a bishop, and he wins against Kulichik. Liam Lei versus the guy with the social security number. Liam is up a bishop and has 2 connected passed pawns. So, king c5, king c4, you can't take that because the pawn is going to be promoting. Anything else going on? Anything interesting anywhere? Why do I not play tournaments? I don't enjoy it. I'm just not a huge fan of classical chess. But obviously if you gave me the option to wake up tomorrow and be a GM, then... Well, no, not tomorrow. In like 2 weeks. Once I win the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship, then you can talk to me about becoming a GM. You know, a lot of you guys can actually, if you think about it for a minute or two, even less, maybe 30 seconds, why is a chess professional not participating in tournaments? Doesn't enjoy it? Doesn't have the means to do so? Focusing on other parts of his career? So it's like, you only have a few options, and it's probably falling within one of those. So you're gonna get the same answer from all players who don't participate in a lot of tournaments. It's usually one of those, like 3, 4. Don't have the means to do so is financial, but doesn't have the money, one of those things. Arian Tari is defending here, King Rook versus King Rook and Pawn. I think it's going to be a draw. Takes. Yeah, this pawn and this king are not going to... Okay. Orion Tari is trolling a little bit. He's going to go king e4. Yeah, he's not even going to take. Orion... Okay, don't go here, though. Now he has to take. Yeah. Interesting game. This should be a draw as well. Here we have bishop and pawn, so you're not going to win the bishop or the pawn, and the king can just run around. Okay, now a fun follow-up question. How do I not enjoy, seeing that this is our last game, I will happily answer that question. How do I not enjoy classical chess, but I became an IM? I enjoyed classical chess before I was an IM. Now classical chess is extremely different. Once you become an IM, the only thing that's ahead of you is GM. That's your only motivation to keep playing. If you're an IM and you just enjoy over-the-board chess... You're kind of an idiot. I feel like something's wrong with you. No offense to all the IMs who might just love the grind. Like, I need something to motivate me. There is no reason I'm going to go to an extremely competitive environment just to participate. So, chess becomes extremely stressful at the IM level. We're also going to take a quick break after round 7. I'm not going to go anywhere. I took a break earlier, so I'm happy to answer your questions. Feel free to drop some questions on me. You can make them all about an IM who did not become a grandmaster. No, obviously I'm joking. If some people just love tournaments. They love to travel. They love to be in a hotel, nice resort by the beach. They just love to play some chess. I'm not like that. If I'm going to, dedicate hours and hours of study, potentially work with a grandmaster to train, dedicate thousands of dollars to entry fee and flight and hotel, like I want to have a good tournament. So, Balaji D15 asking me, do I plan on selling my IM title? I understand what you're alluding to. I think you're saying, if I got high enough rated, would I be able to be bought? Meaning, can you buy rating points off of me? There's thousands of you watching, so I'm going to say no. No. But if you told me, can I have 50 points for $1 million? I mean, that's life-changing money, and it's $50. So, like, I'm gonna give you the kind of genuine answer too. You offer me like $200. That's not really, I'd be lying to all of you if I say I wouldn't drop 50 points for $1 million. So, and somewhere in the middle, there's probably a good point we can bargain on. Do I plan on cleaning the tea I spilled? Yes. Or it'll just evaporate. The mouse will drink it, Anyway, guys, Self-plug time. If you're watching on Twitch, you don't know if I have a Twitch channel, give me a follow there. As a title player, where has your title been used outside of chess? Nowhere. Those of you that have this idea that, like, your life on LinkedIn improves because you're an international master, I've had, like, 2 or 3 people ever talk to me about chess in an interview for a job, and it's mostly like, oh my god, you play chess? Like, I play chess. Like, you gotta teach me chess. Like, you're so good. Like, you gotta teach me chess. Like, that's usually what it goes like. It's like, did you see that video of that dude from the Wall Street Journal who, like, trained and survived against Magnus for, like, 20... You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, this big thing, like, the guy that tries to learn everything. That video where he plays Magnus, and he plays, like, 5 to 10 moves of Rue Lopez theory, and everybody was like, he survived against Magnus! It's, like, the biggest idiocy I've ever seen in my life. So... do I think there is any point in investing time in chess at 18? Well, if you love it, sure, you know? I mean, we all gotta spend our money on something. I recommend that if you like chess, don't become obsessive with it. Set yourself some reasonable goals. And, you know, it's just something that you gotta do. You know, chess is great. Like, it's great for the brain, it's great for... but if you're spending thousands of dollars every month on courses, I think you have a problem. And if you have a gambling problem, it gets exacerbated in chess. I mean, you'll lose 300 points in a night just, you know, playing speed chess or something like that. So... so you should definitely continue it. Look for free resources, and chess can also be a great way to make friends. On Twitch and a lot of live streaming platforms, chess has a lot of disgusting people, because chess is also a bit isolating in nature. So it's a lot of people who don't develop social skills, empathy, EQ. It's just the truth. I mean, chess has some of the most disgusting trolls I think I've ever seen anywhere. So, you know, racism, glorifying tragic and, you know, terrorist acts. And so just make sure that you're using it for good. You're using your chess in a way to build your network. And someone in chat goes, we're sitting right here, dude. So just make sure that... what's the toughest adversity you've had to overcome in order to become an IM? Probably the psychological element of obtaining a good position, then managing my time well and converting it. For a long time, as you go up the ranks, you have an innate respect for people 100 or 200 points, 300 points higher than you, and then that is a huge roadblock. If they start playing fast, you slow down. And it's essentially what I advocate for all students. Like, if you want to be a rating, you can't respect that rating. You absolutely can't respect that rating. So I think that's it, really. That's probably the biggest thing. Correct, Billy the Pirate, yes. Who's the highest rated person I've ever played in Classical? I actually played Le Quang Liem. This guy, Liem Lei. World Open 2018, I believe. Round 3, board 1. Board 1, game was broadcasted. I was better from the opening, and I spent 25 minutes on a decision either this way or this way, and I went the wrong way. I calculated both, but in chess, when you calculate, you have to evaluate as well. That's the final step before you make the decision, you know? So you can't just calculate, you have to evaluate. And I evaluated wrong, and I went the wrong way, and he ended up outplaying me and winning. So, but that was a fun game. That tournament, I was at the best I've ever been. I hit 2430 FIDE. It's my highest highest mark. Are the games on? The games are back? Yes, they are. We are going to watch this, because this is a really interesting semi-Slav line. This is a line where white plays queen b3 in the semi-Slav and moves his queen 3 times. Openings at the highest level of chess look so stupid sometimes. They just do. You look like Harry Potter after a few bad decisions in life. So fun fact for anybody watching, Uh, there's a TikTok out there of me, a celebrity lookalike TikTok of me and Harry Potter, and it has 300,000 views. And it doesn't have my name or anything, so if you have TikTok, maybe it'll come across on your feed. But yeah, a lot of people liked it. How do you recommend getting started in over the board chess? You don't know any chess clubs within an hour of where you live. What? You basically just told me everything. I have a puzzle. I have all the puzzle pieces. Here's the instructions. Can you help me fix it? Can you help me put the puzzle together? I mean, you gotta, you just gotta do your research. You just gotta read the rule book. There's a couple of mannerisms. I would practice some over the board against your friends, but you just have to find a place to play over the board. That's it. Yeah, you have everything you need. If it's far away, then that's something you gotta overcome. A lot of people, they drive in and they stay at a hotel to play a 2-3 day tournament. Or you just move to a big city. You ever have plans to move to a big city? Move to a big city. So, what would I say are the most important tips for 1100 rating? Probably quit chess. But if you don't want to quit chess, practice your 1 and 2 move combinations. A great book, 1001 Chess Exercises for Club Players, I think is the name of the book. Start getting yourself some, good openings under your belt, some easy to learn openings, and I think just 1 and 2 move combos is the easiest. Common tact. Like, this position's far beyond an understanding of an 1100, Don't get yourself in a situation like this. Play, like, structural openings, play the London system, play the Stonewall system. Like, this is way too insane. In fact, I think Timus is just winning here. This position looks devastating, because Black needs a couple more moves to get settled. Like, he needs, like, a timely g5. This is, like, way too much pressure. Queen is pressuring. Everybody's getting pressured. Yeah, Joe GF is Korobov. Yeah, but, like, look at... what is this? This is awful. Timus is going to think he takes with the queen. Pressure here. I think, objectively speaking, White is already completely winning here. He's just going to go here. I think Korobov's just... Oh. Okay, I spoke too soon. I for some reason just didn't see that move. So now Timus can sacrifice the exchange or play queen a6. He's thinking. I completely missed knight c3. Okay, knight c3 keeps him in the game. I apologize. And now cd4. Bishop, yeah, but again, I mean, like, for the cost of 1 pawn, pressure here... Can you castle? Or does that not work tactically? What is this? Okay, Rook e1, and somehow Korobov escapes. I feel like right around here there must have been something. It just, I mean, c5 opening the position like this. You're so far away from getting settled, and yet somehow knight b8. Wow, did he just lose his queen? Knight b8 winning a queen. Wow. There you go. Well, that's the end of that game, isn't it? I think we can move on to the other game of someone who has 7 points. Mr. Like, an American pronounces his name Sack of Clemente. His name is Sack of Clementine. I sure do love clementines, but I don't... Mr. Blue Bomb with the white pieces. Stuck here. Wait, a4? 8. Yeah. Oh, that was his idea. Whoa! Desperado, you're gonna lose the bishop anyway, so you sack it, take... King e3, and this pawn's gone. Or is it? Some bishop h6 tricks. Then d2. Bishop h6 here, d2, king takes, rook here, or rook c4. And then in that position, 2 pawns are hanging. I think that's exactly what we're about to see. We're going to see that and rook c4. That happens. Cheers. Whoops, breaking my glasses. d2, rook c4. I think it's the only way. Or that. He's just trying to chip away at this. So maybe g3 takes, then d2, then rook c4. d2, rook c4. I don't know the inclusion of the g-pawn is necessary, the trade of the g-pawns. Does he even want to play d2? Does he feel like this pawn can... The idea is that if rook d3, bishop takes f4. So... Okay, bishop takes f4, nice. Good move. Good move. b3 runs into rook f1, so you've gotta go after this rook f1, and after king c4 here, bishop c5, the pawn is a goner. Maybe he doesn't even want that. King e6. But now if you take, king e5, king c4, it should be draw. Easy draw. March this pawn. And h4, etc. This is definitely not winnable for either color. But I feel like who's unhappy from that? Who is unhappier from that game? I don't know. It felt like an even fight. So probably in the final round of this event, we're gonna get Korobov versus this Clementi GM, unless their colors don't match. So if either of them have an imbalance of colors. How did this happen? Oops. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Knight f8, king e3, 2 bishops. Is 2 bishops and a pawn versus a knight winning? There's some endgame 2 bishops versus a knight is not always winning. Okay, well, I mean, he just wins. I mean, there's an extra pawn, and then this guy's coming forward. So, what was that knight game? The pawn couldn't promote. The king was in the corner. So, alrighty. How many more games to go? Oh, it's Vidit. It's everybody's favorite. Vidit Gujarati. He's been doing commentary on the I Am Not a GM Speeches Championship. Who's the artist for the picture behind you? I don't know. I actually got that. I got that painting behind me at last year's World Cadet Championship in Weifang, China. I was a coach for the U.S. national team. One of the coaches, not the coach. So I actually do not know who made it. So Queen C3. Yeah, that was a nice mate. That was a nice mate. Very nice swindle. Sometimes when you get to a position like this, you lose your king's positioning. Like you forget what is exactly going on, and you're going down the board this way, and you just somehow forget that you can't escape. So Vidit doesn't resign, plays queen g5, and a bunch of GMs in the chat said, "Oh my gosh, oh no, it's round 9, friends. Here we go. Are we gonna get Korobov? What are we gonna get? Oh, the game's gonna start. There we go. We have our game for first place. The winner of this game gets clear first in the tournament. Mr. Korobov might take down both of our Russian superstars. And then those of you with any sort of geopolitical interests can cheer on Ukraine." Hess has 7 out of 8? Wow. Robert Hess. Robert Hess. Hikaru is playing, but I guess struggling? How many points does Hikaru have? Oh, Hikaru has 7. Hikaru also has 7 points, but he has really been far away. Hikaru is playing fastest mind alive, which, I mean, if you're playing someone named... Okay. Draw agreed. And Mr. Korobov has secured first place. Great! Great! That's exactly what we want. The game for first place. Well, you can't really blame Korobov. He had the white pieces. There's no need to take any sort of risk. And Korobov wins. So I guess I can end the stream. Which will be to the, you know, extreme happiness of about 17 of you. Desi Boys in the chat. Shout out to Desi Boys. Whenever I do commentary, there is like a core unit of individuals that hate watch. Whenever Danny does commentary, whenever, you know, it's like folks who just exist to watch and hate what's on their screen. You know, it's a little self-loathing in many ways. Like it doesn't affect us. We're gonna keep coming back, so. Yeah, Hikaru's time management is unchallenged. I mean, he gets through 3+1 games at light speed, but that doesn't always help. That's not a free pawn, is it? There's some trick involved. And some of you have accounts that are named after my chair. That is adorable. And you being a fan is highly appreciated, so. Just remember that if you, for any reason, are not a fan, you gotta tune in tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 2 Central European Time, 2 in the morning, to make fun of me, because I'll be playing against Teddy Coleman in the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. So make sure to tune in. Bishop g5, and we see another completely dark-squared strategy. We saw Dubov play like this earlier. You gotta love Levan Ponsulaya, who puts GM Levan Ponsulaya in his name. He didn't know that it would say GM, so now he's GM. So, let me ask you a question. If there are 2 GMs in your name, does that mean that you're not a GM anymore? Or does it mean you're like a mega grandmaster? Like, like, what is that, how does that work? You know what I mean? If you overhype yourself, does that just kill it? Or does it, like, project it even more? Cancel out. Okay, cocky grandmaster. Got it. Super mega grandmaster. Okay, got it. Alright, cool. Your feedback is highly appreciated. Highly appreciated. Thank you. Is there anybody who can get like a steal of second place? Every game with a person that has 7 out of 8 is interesting. It's like Lequang Liem. Recor has 7. Robert Hess. I mean, Robert freaking Hess has 7 points. Like, what? Why is his king on b1? It looks like Robert in this game set up his king and rook wrong to begin with and castled. Like, you know, I have like young students who do that. They play a game, they set the king and rook up wrong, so the next kids who play, they don't realize it, they castle like this. It almost looks like that's what happened, and somehow Robert doesn't know how to castle his king. Okay, this move looks incredibly counterintuitive. Why would you open up the G file for... Okay, I guess he's just saying that there is no attack, but... Okay, fair, fine. Queen c2 and control of the file. No, this position's very nice for Robert, I think. But who knows, I'm a moron, so you can't really listen to anything I'm saying. Frankly, I don't even know why they give me this position. It's like Peter Griffin doing commentary. The horse moves funny. Knight g4. Jacking a pawn. Put the bishop on e5. Rook, you know, maybe rook g1, rook c1. Oh, Hess got a fork. Fork is good. What's my favorite move in all of chess history? God, oh man. I don't know. Oh. But let's dial it back here on a serious note, guys. Those of you watching on Chess.com's Twitch channel, in total we've got like over 6,000 viewers. If you're a player, you know, you're like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, there's a lot of good resources for you out there. Chess.com's got an incredible video library. A ton of the streamers and commentators, you can even come back and trap the knight, which he doesn't let him do, are making content at the moment. There's, you know, Chess.com has this basics guide. If you use the command basics in the Twitch chat, those of you on YouTube are really missing out, by the way. So many, like, the commands are so awesome on Twitch. It's just a huge plus. You should definitely check those out. Definitely. It's like a whole list of endgames, middle games, opening resources. He's going to go here, bait the pawn forward, then play Rook H2. Very nice idea. E4 doesn't work on this channel. That only works over in Gotham. And just get playing. Just get playing. My personal recommendation would be don't play the engine too much. Don't rely on the computer a whole lot. And frankly, when you analyze with an engine, a lot of the times it's going to be really difficult to even understand its evaluations as an 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1700 sometimes. I like that feedback from Twitch chat user TimTom178. This announcer is the most arrogant jerk face on Chess.com. We should make that a command anytime I do the commentary. Should say, the host today is I am Levi Rosman, twitch.tv/GothamChess. He is the most arrogant jerk face. Arrogant jerk face. I love it. It's a good one. Like an eloquently stated insult. What you guys have to understand is any banter that I've said today, throwing anybody under the bus, it's all in good fun. A little bit of dark, a little bit of sarcastic humor for you while we're all stuck at home bored to death. So please don't be an American and get offended at everything. That's our job. If you are an American, you don't have to get, just be better. But if you're not, no reason to get offended. Like, please. It's all good. Robert has to sacrifice, and this is a creative defense, but I just sneezed because I'm allergic to being down a piece. Looks like Hess will be losing, yes. Yep. King c5, king d6. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Robert's going down. He's not going to tie for second. Hikaru won. 8 points for Hikaru. Levan Ponsulaya won with the black pieces. Krikor lost to Georg Meyer. These guys have played each other so many times. And, yeah, unfortunately, Robert Hess is trying to massively flag his opponent, but it's not going to happen because of the bonus time. And, is there anybody else with 7 out of 8? Does not look like it. Oh, wait. One more game. One more game. Oh, well, this one. This is a draw. Uh-oh. One guy's trying to beat the other guy with king and rook versus king and rook. You guys are so offended at me. Here's a GM trying to beat another GM, king and rook versus king and rook, alright? So if you gotta be offended at anybody, it's these guys. Please take it. There we go. They draw. That was the last game remaining of 7 pointers. But let's stick around. We've got 4 or 5 games here to go. Remember, don't go anywhere. Because shortly after this, we are going to be doing the state of chess.com. And if you thought you hated me, wait until you get this guy on your screen. He gets more hate thrown his way than any person I have ever met. And it's so undeserved. The chess project genius Danny Wrench, probably the most forward-thinking chess personality, chess person, in the world of this game that we all love, putting on all these events for us, coming up with all these great ideas. He's going to be giving you a lens into what's going on chess.com. Like I said, our projects, pros, cons, challenges, answering your questions, and if for some reason you were offended by today's commentary, get some thicker skin. Life is short, and if either I or Danny, for whatever reason, rub you the wrong way, we couldn't care less. You're going to keep on watching. So. Oh my god, he hung a rook! What a way to end it! Oh, this is so tragic. He gave away a rook. The one move on the board he shouldn't have played. Oh my goodness. How about that note to end on? That's a way you lose, huh? That's why you always play it out. As I said, guys, self-plug time. And this is easy. This is easy now. King versus Rook is an easy one. Well, congrats to Mr. Korobov. 8.5 out of 9 is generally the golden ticket to winning this event. It's generally the easiest. There is no blunder. Angry Twin. I always forget who this is. Andrei Drigalov. I have seen this username 100 times. And this is 1996 born Russian grandmaster who I never met before this tournament. I still do not know what on earth Korobov's name means. And we have like a 12-way tie, 10-way tie with 8 out of 9. Congratulations to everybody, including Grischuk, who lost in the second round, then won every game he played. My friends, 9 minutes to go before Danny Wrench turns on the state of Chess.com. Don't go anywhere. Or, I mean, you know, like, go get a coffee and cool off from how angry I made you. And if Hikaru's streaming, got a lot of good streamers. I think Hess was streaming. Robert Hess was actually streaming Title Tuesday, which is pretty cool. And, yeah. This concludes the final Title Tuesday of April. We'll be back next week and throughout May. This Title Tuesday is now a weekly event. Tomorrow, one final plug. The I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship continues with the quarterfinals matchup between Alina Kashlinskaya and Eric Rosen. Everybody's most feared villain versus probably the player with the most class in the entire event. Alina, who last time offered a draw instead of flagging her opponent to end the match. Then, your favorite. Nope, not this one. I guess I duplicated it. Oh well. You won't even get a picture of me. I don't respect myself that much. There was supposed to be a picture of me there playing against Teddy, but that's going to be tomorrow in the evening. The Europeans will just go to sleep. Alright, my friends. Signing off. Not sure if we're going to be sending over a raid to a channel or if we're just going to keep this rolling through stateofchess.com, but stick around.